Hello friends, I am Dr. Amarjit Kaur. I am Professor of Accounting and Business Communication at the Department of Management, Gurugram University, Gurugram. I have been working in the education and food industry from the last 30 years, have authored 9 books, 56 research papers so far, and I am a lifelong learner and very happy to be connected with you to discuss on writing business proposals. This is the second half of this topic. We are going to discuss this topic in continuation of the previous half. So friends, in the first half we have talked about what business proposals are. If you have missed out, please watch the video. And what is the difference between solicited and unsolicited business proposal, right? Then we have discussed that what are the essential P's of a business proposal and what we must consider while drafting or writing a business proposal. So this is what we discussed in the first half, and now I am going to discuss that how to write a business proposal. What is the outline of a business proposal? So what should be the content of a business proposal, and the stages in writing of a business proposal. So friends, the outline of a business proposal can have about 8-10 heads. It may vary, of course, from one proposal to another proposal, but I am talking in general. For most of the proposals, these steps, these headings are expected to be there. The first of all, the title page should be there, which should have the name of the company or the proposer as an individual to whom it has been submitted. Generally, a cover letter is used. Then the product name or the service name, for example, supply of smart boards, right? And then the contact details could also be there, the email, the phone number, etc. So this is the first head of a business proposal in the outline. The second is table of content. A formal business proposal will have table of contents. What does this proposal include? Right, it has statement of problem, the methodology used, the problem solving methodology, etc., etc., the solutions provided, benefits, cost, term, etc. All those things can be there in the table of contents. If any picture, table, figure has been used, we can have the table list, the list of table, the list of figures, list of anything which we have, annexures could be there, references could be there. So this all is going to be included in the table of content. The purpose is that reader or the receiver of the proposal is able to scrutinize the proposal. With the help of this table of content, they can decide to read the proposal incomplete or not. So table of content is a very important, because it kind of gives you a bird's eye view that what does the proposal contain. Say for example, I have a limitation of budget, right? I know the product is very good, which is there on my table, but I have a limitation that I cannot buy or spend more than 20 lakhs on that product which is there on the offer. So before I read about the specification or any other thing, I will simply look at the table of content and will find the price, the page where the price has been quoted, and simply switch to the page number where the price is there, and we'll see either should I read the whole proposal or not, because my major key factor is price. Or let's say I do not have any budget limitation, but I have a limitation that I need a particular specification in the product I am looking for. So I will go to the page where the specification of the product, I am looking for a camera, high speed camera with a particular speed, right? Because high speed camera captures pictures, images. So I'm looking for a particular range of number of clicks or images being captured by the high speed camera. So I will simply go to the specification page first, right? And then thereafter I will be looking at the terms and condition of supply and all. There could be another business who have no limitation on budget. They can actually adjust the specification, but their concern is the time limit, because in the product or in the research, wherever they are going to use this high speed camera, I'm quoting, they have to supply the product within the X time range, right? Now they will go to term and condition of the day, supply, that the proposer is saying they will supply within 30 days after payment receipts or advance received, 20 days, 30 days. Does it suit you or not? So how you are helping, how this table of content is helping to make someone interested in your proposal or not, because every business may have different requirements at different point of time. The same business may have not have the time problem or timeline problem sometime later on, right? So this table of content is that important. So must be there in a business proposal. The third head in the business proposal is executive summary. This executive summary is basically a very brief of almost everything what is there in the proposal, but make sure those three things which we discussed previously in the first half of the day to day, that those three P's, problem statement, solutions offered, and the pricing, they are somehow, so we may not quote the exact value of the proposal, but we can say the pricing is very attractive, pricing is very competitive, etc., etc. So the executive summary is essential, because your proposal could be of any length, 200 pages to 2 pages. Had it been only 2 pages, then there is not much problem, right? There's a likelihood that your proposal would be read by the person whom you have submitted, and especially if there was RFP, right? So it all depends. If there was an RFP and the size or the length of the proposal is not long, then executive summary may not play a very great role. But if the proposal is lengthy and it is a cold calling, it is an unsolicited proposal, then executive summary becomes very important. And how it has been written, what is the content, what is the language, what is the flow, the logical flow is there or not. It really makes a difference in the proposal. The fourth point in the outline is statement of problem. And believe me or not, if this is an RFP, then the statement of problem is really, really, really important. This is something which talks about the issue or job at hand. And believe me, the statement of problem can be written very well if you have done some good research in finding out what is the problem of the business, to whom you are intending to supply some service or render some service, supply some product. You are trying to becoming a vendor. Let's say your company is somebody who is into sales. They may be facing a problem with the distributor. That distributor who is selling their product, the current distributor, is transferring the amount, after sales collections are transferred, beyond the credit limit. Most of the businesses in the retail especially, they extend some credit limit. There's a problem there. There's a lot of there's a lot of loss of the product during the display or during the samples. Samples are not returned. There could be any kind of problem. There are many complaints been submitted by customers in a particular geographical area about the product. It means product during transportation is either damaged, is not been handled well, etc., etc. Whatever it could be, but you must research and find out the statement of problem. I mean, you should try to find out the problem and you must write the statement of problem. Then the approach and the methodology. That what is the approach and the methodology you have followed while submitting the proposal. Let's say you have referred to some data. So you are writing, these are the current numbers related to the problem, and basis on that you are giving the justification, basis on referring to somebody else's report, or basis on the guidelines issued by the government. So the approach you are writing is that how you are going to help them solve the problem they have, your problem solving methodology. That we will visit you, we will visit the plant first, we will look at the requirement, and then we will supply you, or we will have a video call, or we will have pictures being received from you, and then we will recommend you the exact model to be used. Or it could be that your guy can visit us and we will give a demo, and then we will explain the importance or the difference of different models we have, and then we supply based on the agreement. Or it could be simply that we have flexibility in designing the product for you, right? So whatever the approach or the methodology you are going to follow to solve the problem is going to be mentioned here. Then the sixth point should be the qualification. Here your credentials I am referring to. You as an individual, your company as a provider, service provider, product supplier. What are the credentials of the company or the credential of the person? I have as an individual handled such products 100 times, 1000 times, and I have satisfied customers, and these are the reviews, these are the references, right? The qualification is written to gain a confidence in your product, in your service, in you as a person, as a company, right? So the qualifications are very important, and you need to really bring them up. We are the pioneer service provider. This is something very common we read. We are the pioneer service provider. We are pioneer in this product, in this service. We have these many millions of satisfied customers. This is a pitch you are making in your business proposal, isn't it? What you are saying, you are giving the qualification of your company, your business. Then the next point in the outline is the schedule and the benchmark. Schedule of delivery, schedule of completion of the task, schedule of different stages of. It could be a visit required, it could be a survey required, it could be survey visit by the client or by the company, the supplier, you as a proposer. So whatever the schedule, it should be there, the timeline step by step. Benchmarks should be there. Then the next thing should be cost, payment terms, any legal matter, that if there's some kind of disagreement, some kind of dispute, where will you go for the dispute settlement? Which court of law will you reach out to, or which court geographical area, Haryana, Punjab, India, abroad, somewhere else, is applicable? The payment is in which currency, right? What are the terms of credit if given? And lastly, when you are concluding it, conclude it with a strong voice, I will say. I'm saying refer to or talk about the benefits again. states the benefit in a summary, in a bullet point, in very prominent way, that these are the benefits the company will have if you are engaged as a supplier, you are engaged as a vendor, if you are engaged as a service render, whatever, right? So these are the probable areas in the outline of a business proposal. Your business proposal may have majority of them, may have few of them, may have more focus on one or the other area. It all depends. As I said, it is your call. It is the call of the business basis on the need. But these are the maximum possible areas in a business proposal. Few precautions, few important things. When you are designing the business proposal, make sure you use creativity in terms of segmentation. We have different segments of prospective clients. So we should be doing creativity in reaching out to different segments. If I am, for example, reaching out to a prospective client where the end product is to be used or end user is illiterate, I may illustrate my proposal or support my proposal with the help of pictures only, right? So if I am reaching out to youngsters, my approach could be entirely different. So we need to use creativity basis on the segment of the customers the client I am reaching out may have, or your own client. Then another point is, we should not try to please everybody. You cannot. Focus on the problem statement. Do not make it a very generic solution. Make it a specific solution you are providing to a specific problem. So we cannot please everyone in one proposal. Alright? And make sure you never forget your own identity, unique identity. What is the best USP you have? Always evolve around that USP. Come back again to the USP you have as a company, as a business in your proposal, right? So these are the few things we need to keep in mind while drafting the outline of a business. Coming forward, stages in writing business proposal. What are the stages? There are 4 main stages in writing a business proposal. The business proposal writing begins with the research stage, right, which we call as the stage where we identify the problem. We understand the problem. We spend a lot of time in understanding what is the need of the business I am reaching out to, right? So research stage is certainly the most important stage. This is like diagnosing. A doctor diagnoses your problem by asking a couple of questions, or you go and define your problem and help doctor diagnose your problem by making certain statements, right? The problem statement is very important, because if you are not able to understand the requirement of the business you are reaching out to or the person you are reaching out to, you cannot be a provider, because let's say they have headache and you are saying they have fever, or they have fever and you are assuming they have some hypertension, right? So you need to know exactly either the person has a blood pressure problem or a diabetic problem. Only then you can be providing the right medicine as a doctor. Same is applicable here in the business. So research stage is very important to before we write a proposal. That's the first stage. The second stage in writing the business proposal is planning stage. Here, if we have received RFP, request for proposal, which is in case of a solicited proposal, we need to refer to that, because already some request has been put up to you that we have this problem or requirement and we are looking for the solution to this problem or answer to this requirement, right? So this is the planning stage. Here your research, your plan will be that how best I can meet up to the requirement of the person who has reached out to you. If it was not an RFP, you are making a cold proposal, cold calling, then you need to be careful. You need to really spend a good time in the previous stage, research stage, and try to find out from your own sources what is the requirement the business has and how can you actually show them the good solution in a best way. So this is basically your problem solution level, and even the pricing, etc., timeline, everything is considered at this stage, that what timeline you will need to supply, what are the terms and conditions you can offer to this business. This is your first client or a previous client, can you offer some discount, or if it is a first client, how can you retain the client, etc. Then third is writing stage. Now here you actually write, and by following the outline I discussed a few minutes ago, right? So if you remember, I discussed the outline of writing a business proposal. So in the writing stage, we are actually following those outline, following from the title page to table of content to executive summary, etc. So here we are actually drafting the proposal. Then the last one is follow-up stage. In the follow-up stage, we are seeking feedback. We are seeking or we are reaching out for negotiation. Let's say in your research stage, you assume this is their requirement, and since they have an urgent requirement, I can probably charge this much. So you put up your proposal with an X amount as an offer price, but they did not respond you much well, and now you are waiting for the response. You may reach out to them again and ask about the proposal you have submitted. Then they may come up with certain queries, they may put up some concern, they may show the reluctance to the price you quoted or the timeline you mentioned, and here you negotiate, right? So we reach out to them and seek feedback about the proposal. There could be a follow-up on phone, on mail, whichever way the proposal was submitted. And then the negotiation stage is reached out. If you are able to reach out to negotiation stage, this is a great development, I would say. Right? So after these stages, now I will like to discuss that what mistakes in general we should be avoiding while writing a business proposal. This is the last thing I want to discuss. So the mistakes in generally which happen, and we should be avoiding that. How should we be avoiding that? A very common mistake which we see is this, that there is no context to the research question. You have researched, right, during the first stage, because if you remember, there was this research stage. So you have researched and you have actually prepared your proposal, the second stage when you were planning actually. So you have referred to that research, but in your proposal while you are writing, you did not refer to research question at all. Interesting, right? This is a mistake, because this was your research in the first stage which helped you to suggest something in the planning stage or write something in the planning stage, and you did not refer to that. So this will be a very important link missing in the proposal. You will not, because you are jumping straight to the problem. You are jumping straight to the solution. That would be a very fatal thing, to ignore the research question, right? This is the first mistake we see, and we need to avoid that. The second mistake which we see are there in the in the business proposal, not citing of significant studies. Some landmark study has happened, it's already there. You are coming up with the proposal by referring to that study, that report. Let's say there was a report, or there was some guideline, there was some rule, act, etc. issued, and you somehow ignored it and you came up with the proposal without citing it. You will not be able to convince the person. Especially let's say I am somebody who is selling medicine. I am a company, right? And you came up with one research published in any journal of medicine, quoting the previously used medicine has these side effects which are very fatal or strong. You know that is there, but you did not cite that research, because you are coming up with a new medicine which doesn't have those side effects. So, are you getting my point? You are making a blunder here. You are somehow ignoring to cite that significant study, which if being cited would have really impacted the reader, the buyer, the retail or the wholesale customer, that why should they buy this medicine. If it is not medicine, there are so many equipments in the medical industry. Nowadays we have so many equipments to take care of back pain, facial muscles, what not, eye surgeries. And if X kind of eye surgery had in the past side effects, and there's another let's say technique which we call as smile, and smile has less side effects, and you have certain research papers, certain studies which are there establishing that this is better technique, but you did not cite it, right? This is a mistake. And no reference to research done on the topic. You have done a lot of research, but you ignored to refer them, put them in the references towards the end of the proposal. If somebody is very serious about the proposal, may like to refer, and especially if it is a technical product, right? So, if there is no reference, even that is a mistake. The last point I would like to say, no focus on primary research question. You ignored to focus on what was your primary research question. You started with a question in your mind and then you carried the research, right? Then you actually build up the whole outline. So if you did not focus on the primary research question, but you just wrote the proposal, this is a mistake on your end. So make sure we do not commit these mistakes. Make sure we do take care of all the P's we mentioned. We take care of all the expected questions, which we must be answering. Certainly your business proposal can be a good one, can help you crack the deal, right? So with this I would like to wind up. I hope you could understand what is the outline of a business proposal, what are the stages of a business proposal, and what all mistakes one should avoid while writing a business proposal. With this I would like to wind up and I would like to sign up. Thank you.